Singapore and Philippine TIMA members prepare for upcoming free clinic in Cambodia. City volunteers in Taiwan help a university student who has no home and no relatives to rely on. Welcome to Dai Headlines. I'm Siri Su. Thank you for joining us. City volunteers will be holding a free clinic in Cambodia in early November. Singapore and Philippine TIMA members have come to check on a free clinic venue in September. They also held eye checkups and distribution of eyeglasses for the local residents. The mindfulness and spirit of city volunteers moved many local doctors.
Cambodian Tzu Chi volunteer will be holding a large-scale free clinic in Batabang early November. Tzu Chi volunteer from Singapore came in September to check on the free clinic venue.
We
need to make sure we have stable water supply and electricity when we operate surgeries for patients.
Many doctors are coming from overseas. They are volunteering, helping the people of Cambodia.
Philippine TIMA member also came in early October to provide eye checkups for patients. In a day, they treated 539 people. Among them, 40 patients will be undergoing surgeries. TIMA members also distributed 355 pairs of eyeglasses.
I have blurred vision and would like to have a pair of glasses to see things clearly.
I hope to have a surgery in order to see things clearly.
The medical professionals have worked together many times, and therefore they can work with one mind and one heart. They've also noticed that the medical resources are lacking locally.
We have this opportunity to collaborate together. It will be a good chance for us also, and mostly for the people in the province also.
We hope that we can share our experiences, our working together to help the poor in Cambodia.
25 years ago, when Cambodia was flooded, Tzu Chi has held free clinic here. Back then, the local Chinese school even stopped school for a week to help with translation. Now they're meeting again.
Cataracts need timely treatment. City volunteers have been working diligently since the morning. We're deeply touched by them. In Sulawesi, Indonesia, a strong earthquake triggered tsunami last year. It killed more than 2,000 people, while many people lost their homes. Tzu Chi was the first one to care for these survivors, quickly distributing relief material. With the assistance of the government, 1,500 permanent houses will be built in the most affected area.
A 7.5 magnitude earthquake triggered a tsunami, leading this area to be unrecognizable. Tzu Chi Indonesia chapter has been working non-stop, with 132 permanent houses being completed. Indonesian Vice President Muhammad Yusuf Kala visited the scene to care for survivors.
Mr. Kala is very satisfied with the status of Dai village. He also praised Tzu Chi. As long as Tzu Chi needs land, the government will do its best to support them.
Tzu Chi expects to build 1,500 permanent houses in Dongdu. The government hopes to build up the surrounding environment, including places of worship and hospitals.
We are currently considering public facilities. If there are thousands of houses, there should be public facilities, such as schools and mosques. This is part of our discussion with the local government and Tzu Chi.
The government provided 30 hectares of land initially, though this has been expanded to 45 hectares. More community planning is being done to create a more convenient and comfortable home for survivors.
The third exchange camp for entrepreneurs in Malaysia and Indonesia has been held. Its theme is enriching life by being altruistic. The camp was attended by more than 640 entrepreneurs. Volunteers from these two countries shared their stories and experiences to inspire more entrepreneurs to walk the Bodhisattva path. The third exchange camp for entrepreneurs in Malaysia and Indonesia has been held in Malaysia, Jingsi Hall. Its theme is enriching life by being altruistic.
I hope that we can show them Buddhist practices so they will see the beauty of Tzu Chi and join Tzu Chi. Then they can wear Tzu Chi uniform like us and walk the Bodhisattva path. In that way, they will be wearing Bodhisattva clothes and sitting in a cultivation ground.
How do people who want to learn Buddhism walk the Bodhisattva path and benefit other people? In fact, this kind of promotion is needed in society. How do we promote it in society?
More than 640 entrepreneurs from Malaysia and Indonesia joined the two-day camp.
Many newcomers have joined the camp. Several of them have participated in the first exchange camp for entrepreneurs in Malaysia and Indonesia. They have shared their personal change during the past 2 years, as well as how they carry out Tzu Chi's work in Indonesia. They have listened to the master teaching and changed themselves.
Besides inviting volunteers from the two countries to share their experiences, the camp organizer also invited guests from Taiwan and the Philippines.
The master has a philosophy in carry out disaster relief, and that is to respect others.
When disasters strike, they are the first ones to arrive at the scene.
At the camp, one entrepreneur shares how when he makes donations, he also plants seeds of kindness in people.
Dulu saya datang pakai sebagai pengusaha.
When I came in last time, my role was an entrepreneur. Today I've come as a volunteer in uniform. In the past, I thought people should appreciate us if we give them something. But in Tzu Chi, the givers must harbor gratitude. I realized in the past I was wrong.
Itu bedanya. Loh, saya ini salah jalan.
We might not have a lot of opportunities to hear this in our daily life and in our roles as entrepreneurs. I want to learn something different so that I can share them with my colleagues.
The meaning of life does not only lie in working. Our biggest gain comes from our contribution to society.
We should share our spirit of love with every employee. How do we start? We need to set examples for them.
After participating in the two-day camp, the entrepreneurs hope they can inspire others to contribute to society. They've also vowed to volunteer together and benefit the public. To welcome the more than 600 participants of the exchange camp for entrepreneurs in Malaysia and Indonesia, 420 volunteers were mobilized. They spent a week to prepare for the exchange camp, and their mindfulness and care have ensured the success of the event. Before the Tzu Chi exchange camp for entrepreneurs in Malaysia and Indonesia takes place, Kuala Lumpur and Selangor Tzu Chi volunteers undertook many preparations.
Some Tzu Chi sisters brought their children to help out. There are also some elderly Tzu Chi sisters who are willing to give of themselves. If they cannot wash the dishes, they help wipe them.
"420 volunteers work behind the scenes to prepare for the exchange camp, treating the participants as if they're family. The exchange camp is also a Dharma assembly, and the participants rehearse for the programs diligently. Vincent Tan, the founder of Malaysia's Berjaya Corporation, began in Tzu Chi volunteering training in 2017. Through his participation in such activities, he was able to pay more attention to himself and also show true compassion to his family and employees.
Forgetting about his business for the moment, Vincent Tan, the founder of the Bajaya Corporation, is participating in volunteer training courses. Every activity requires attention, and at the end of the day, they all share their experience.
Because I eat vegetarian every day, I say I'm going to be vegetarian. My wife said, "You're joking." When all my children said, "No, we let him try 1 month." He gave up.
Up to now, he continues to be vegetarian. Has participated in Tzu Chi activities, including home visits, where he learns compassion. One of the deepest influences is a visit to the recycling station, where all of the sorting work is done by hand.
So I can see here today there's so many items that are still in good shape, that many people actually come and buy them, and then buy in the sense they donate, they take the products and donate money to Tzu Chi, so that Tzu Chi can do more charity and do more community work.
Through doing these charitable works like recycling, family and staff are also inspired.
See that this is a very good effort of Tzu Chi, because it's not only acting as a collection center for the recyclables, but it is also turning some of the goods that might otherwise be useless into useful second-hand goods.
It is good. It's good for them to spend some their spare time to do this. This is good for the environment, good for their body, and good exercise for them, and can spend their time in a useful manner.
He's not only working at home, but also grasps the opportunity to provide international disaster relief for Tzu Chi. His business leader is now humble as he pursues another type of education. He will soon invite more entrepreneurs like him to exert a bigger influence on society.
Tzu Chi's New Shoot Scholarship helps children from difficult backgrounds continue their education. At age 21, Xiao Jia has overcome many difficulties to study at Taipei City University of Science and Technology. He's virtually alone in his life with no relatives to help him and no home to go back to. Volunteers learned about him last year. They've been treating him like their own son.
你好啊，上班看一下。有几堂课？好，3堂吗？有。很多人可能会觉得
Many people see me wearing Nike or something and think that I'm rich, but this is actually sponsored by the school, so they don't know what my real situation is.
我没写过，这个吗？然后这是我阿公，对，然后就带他去剪头发，然后就变就是比较可爱一点。然后这好像我很小的时候吧。
Then this is my grandfather when we took him to cut his hair. He looks a little cuter now, and this is when I was very young. The saddest thing for me is that I wasn't able to see him at the end. At that time, I was still in school in Hsinchu, and I was in a dorm, but I couldn't accept his death. I asked some relatives for help, but no one was willing, as I just wanted to get out of here.
都没有人愿意帮我，所以我才想要离开这里。就是其实我之前有想过说，就干脆算了，就是自杀的意思。
Back then, I said, forget about it. This is what suicide is about. I really thought about it because really, you don't know what life is worth. You go to work every day, get paid, and spend all of your money.
I don't know the value of life, as I would get stuck in this type of thinking. In fact, there are people who are much worse off than me.
Every day I follow your Instagram. Okay, I told you this secret.
师姑第一次来，然后就带了2大袋东西，就1袋面包，然后1袋就是。
First time sister came, she brought 2 big bags of things. One was a big bag of bread, and the second was a bag of instant noodles. This was because I stayed up late and it caused a lot of problems eating, so I could just make some instant noodles and other snacks like cookies. The first time we met, she asked how I was doing. Actually, I really didn't know about a mother's love. And if anyone really wanted to talk to me, I can't really tell because I didn't have this when I was young. It was all about taking care of grandfather or being with adults. As a boy, I didn't have a mother, so I never had this type of feeling, but sister gave me this motherly attention and love.
不知道那感觉是什么，但是就是师姑就是会尽量给我像妈妈的感觉。
A Malaysian city volunteer once felt helpless in her life after getting divorced. During the time when she felt most distressed, she came into contact with Tzu Chi and attended a city academy with her daughter. It was then she started to change her life for the better.
"52-year-old Nyongpo Lei is a Tzu Chi volunteer. She has most connected with the outside world since she became part of Tzu Chi in 2009.
We hope to improve the relationship between neighbors. Secondly, we also hope to build up the relationship between community volunteers and residents. So you can see how harmonious the society is, as everyone takes care of each other.
就是很美咯，就是大家我照顾你，你照顾我这样的。
In the past, Nyongpo Lei had to raise her 3 daughters alone after she got divorced. In her life, there was only resentment.
Back then, I was wondering why it was me who had to face all these adversities. When I faced financial difficulties, I felt very sad because I was lonely as I had no one to talk with. I had no confidence in this society, and I felt that people in this society were not kind-hearted.
Nyongpo Lei once shut herself off from the world and busied herself with work. Her second daughter's rebellious period made her quite distressed. Under her friend's introduction, she and her daughter enrolled in the Tzu Chi Humanity Academy.
开始的时候，真的是公堆啊。
In the beginning, I knew nothing but follow Tzu Chi's volunteers. I felt the organization was very great because they help people who are suffering. It was then I gradually rid off my hatred for society and eventually believed that there is love in the world.
就是你就相信哦，原来人间是有爱的。
Later, she devoted herself to home visitations for the needy, allowing her to get rid of pain from losing marriage.
看到世界真的是。
She humbles herself and cares for each care recipient wholeheartedly. She always stands in their shoes to feel the difficulties they are facing.
去感受他们的苦。
When she was at the lowest points of her life, she came into contact with Tzu Chi. Since then, she changed her mindset and started living a more meaningful life.
Each year in Taiwan, over 10,000 people die from chronic hepatitis, liver cirrhosis, or hepatic cancer. The best solution is a liver transplant. However, the waiting time for a liver donation is quite long. Thanks to modern technology, living donor transplant is available for liver donation.
Mr. Lin had hepatitis C for many years. More recently, it developed into liver cirrhosis, and doctors suggested a new liver in order for him to survive.
If we waited for donor liver, we don't know how long we'd have to wait for. It was afraid of my dad's condition worsen. So I thought, why not donate my liver to him?
Besides liver cirrhosis, Mr. Lin has diabetes, heart problems, and other complications. that increase the risk for living donor transplants. Yet not giving up hope, the family finally found help at the Dalian Tzu Chi Hospital.
Due to hepatitis C, his liver became cirrhotic. That led him to experience other symptoms such as vomiting blood and hepatic coma. It happened a few times.
A living donor transplant means taking 60% of the liver from the donor and surgically replacing the recipient's failed organ. In this manner, the recipient gets a second chance at life, and the living donor's liver will continue to repair and grow back to what the body needs.
The path to the liver through the stomach is very sticky. There are many blood vessels nearby, so when moving the parts, it bleeds easily. So our surgical team and the anesthesiologist was on alert to deal with the situation.
Living donor liver transplant is more complicated than deceased donor transplant, as repairing the living donor's hepatic veins, which are usually less than 4 millimeters, increases risks.
During surgery, the blood pressure didn't drop significantly or go into cardiac shock, so it was a pretty stable surgery, which took about 15 or 16 hours.
Though the living donor transplant for liver disease is a good option, there are still many diseases that is reliant on organ donation, as giving someone a second chance at life is the best way to leave one's legacy behind.
A few weeks ago, Taichung Jinsi Hall hosted the 921 Memorial Concert with city volunteers shouldering all the responsibilities. Volunteers were thankful for the public selfless giving during the 921 earthquake.
To give thanks to Taiwan for helping the 3/11 earthquake in Japan, Japanese vocalist Tatsuhiko Saga sang with his sincere heart. There were also Dharma masters leading volunteers and rescue team members in a touching musical sutra adaptation. The Taichung Jinsi Hall's 921 Memorial Concert was a big success. More than 200 volunteers were dedicated to the planning, organizing to execution.
There were so many areas where we were inexperienced and we didn't know what to do, so we tried to make everything more thorough.
The sound engineer and documenting volunteers played an important role in the large-scale event because it required video recording and live streaming.
All of our volunteers accepted the task we gave them selflessly.
Everyone worked together in hopes to complete the mission.
I remember during the 921 earthquake, I've witnessed much selfless compassion and great love. Therefore, we've all carried a grateful heart when planning the event for the venue.
To shoulder responsibilities is to give oneself an opportunity to grow.
I felt that we have learned a lot and we will be more confident to plan such an event in the future.
The selfless giving and teamwork from the volunteers is the key to accomplish a touching musical concert.
In Taiwan, some of the leftover fabrics of dye technology is sent to Tzu Chi Liaison Office in Xianghua, Tainan. The volunteers there will turn their new trinkets to be given to the public. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.